We're back with our 24th chat on Your Health, Your Way. I'm Kurt, and today I'll be talking with Lisa about some of her expertise in the exercise field. But first, how was your day?
My day went okay. I had my cooked food temptation today. I started out with a smoothie, then I was working at one of my locations where I get tempted to have my turkey sandwich, and I had that and hot chocolate. It was the hot chocolate like from the machines with all those chemicals in it. It was terrible, terrible. But it was very tempting, and I gave into it, and then I realized, oh, today's the day I have to go work out. I wish I would have held off because I didn't want to be so acidic before going to the gym. But I worked out. I did fine. I had the energy. And I was surprised because right after consuming all that stuff, that food, whatever you call it, that I had at lunch, I had the sneezing fit, and I think it was the dairy. But I was able to work out, and I came home. I was going to have a juice. I had all good intentions, and I came home hungry. We were in a hurry to try and get this video done, so I just kind of ate standing up, and I ate some wraps that we had just gotten in the mail that I had ordered, and I feel a little bloated and icky. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow for a new day, a new start. Now you're doing awesome.
I am. I'm feeling pretty good since yesterday. Now, the wraps that you got, they were actually mail order, raw vegan, so some sort of coconut curry wrap.
So we got married. No, curry, and it was made with coconut meat and coconut water and salt. I don't know how they do this, but that's apparently all the ingredients.
And it's all raw, so that's an interesting thing that you can get it mail order even. So
it took forever to get them. I don't know why, but they were very good.
And we had those with some of our favorite raw vegan taco dip spread on it.
But we had it standing up.
But we had it standing up, and that's one thing that we
relaxed.
haven't mentioned a whole lot of in this show is that when you do eat whatever you're eating, try to eat sitting down and try to eat slowly.
Yes.
That's very important for your digestive system, and something that neither of us were really mastered, but you're a lot better at it than I am.
Well, a year and a half ago, I had problems with. I ended up in the emergency room with epigastric pain. This was right before I went raw for the first time, and they wanted to do all kinds of tests, and I refused. I just knew there was a different way, so I started Googling different information online, and it said things like, "Be sure to sit when you eat. Chew your food thoroughly. Don't drink too much water during your meal because it gets all mixed up with the food in your stomach. Breathe, and don't watch action, TV shows and a lot of drama, and be sure you sit and you're relaxed." Well, I was doing everything the opposite. So once I started doing that, over the next week or two, the pain started going away.
Very interesting.
But I digress.
Good point.
So.
No, and that's very pertinent information in terms of your health, your way, because we want to make sure we cover a lot of a broad level of topics.
Yeah.
So now let's see. Today I'm feeling a lot cleaner after yesterday's fast. I don't feel any remnants of the acid reflux or the headache, the nausea, or the diarrhea. I've got plenty of energy, and I'm in good spirits after yesterday's spirituality discussion. One piece of pertinent information that I left out during yesterday's introduction was that the eczema I had been experiencing cleared up. If you've been following us, I came down with a bout of eczema about 5 days ago, I believe, and it covered my body. And interestingly enough, yesterday while I was fasting and while I was recovering from feeling ill, it went away. So go figure. I'm flushing a lot of things out of my system. I'm not making my digestive system work hard because I'm not ingesting more food, and it clears up.
I think that's fascinating.
It is pretty fascinating.
You were having this release like through your skin. You were having diarrhea release, and you were on a water fast, so you weren't trying to take up the your digestive system wasn't taking up all the energy. You were allowing your body to heal. I just think that's so cool.
So I failed to mention that yesterday during our introduction. My apologies, but I think that is pertinent piece of information.
Super.
Now this morning I took your suggestion and had some green juice that you made for me, and about 24 ounces. I was hungry about an hour later, so I had a smoothie. It was one of my herbal smoothies that I've had before with parsley and dill and rosemary and ginger. But I mixed it with mixed berries and dates this time, and which made it really actually very pleasant to have. So for lunch then I had a salad that Lisa made for me and a handful of organic baby carrots. And then I came home this afternoon from work and had another smoothie. I had to go back to work for a short while this afternoon, and then when I came back, we had the
Stand-up taco.
the raw vegan wraps with the raw vegan taco dip spread on it. And we were sparing about it because we've mentioned before that the raw vegan taco dip does have nuts in it. But you know, if you have just a little bit, it's
I think
probably
I'm
okay.
bloated after that. I still feel bloated after that.
Okay.
I think it's just because we ate standing up and
This probably
in a hurry,
has a lot
more
to
than
do with it,
anything.
right? So, but you know, all said, a happy day for me. Now, I want to get to talking about exercise, and this can be an intimidating subject for most people because I think that much of our busy society has the best of intentions to make exercise a part of our daily plan or a part of our weekly plan, and we just don't get to that point. So what I want to talk about today is that this doesn't have to be a difficult and time-consuming practice. If you can get yourself on a clean diet, you've already done most of the work. Now, I'll suggest that if you are eating meat or you are eating dairy or you are eating grains, that you're not on a totally clean diet. But we've also mentioned that everybody has to find out what works for them. And there's totally clean and there's not clean at all, and there's varying
every shade of gray.
places in between that. So, and I certainly can't claim that being a raw vegan for the last 30 days has made me completely clean either. I'm sure there are a lot of people that could argue that I could have a much cleaner diet. So, but the better your diet, the less you're going to be requiring of your body for exercise. So I also think that if you have an active lifestyle that you probably don't have to focus as much on exercise. But so many of the people that I meet on a daily basis have very sedentary lives, and I think that's a common theme in our social structure today. And I myself work in a job that requires me to sit in an office all day. I try to get up every couple of hours or so and go outside and just walk around the building just so I can move around. That's a really good idea. And I think that does help. But I also do other things as well in the afternoon to try and stay active. And you don't have to go buy a health club membership or expensive equipment to store at your house. There are plenty of things that you can do right in the comfort of your living room or your backyard, wherever you're comfortable doing them, without any of those things that can just kind of give you a little boost. And that's what we're going to kind of take a look at today.
You also walk and bike with the dogs.
I do. Well, that's part of that's part of my activity.
6 miles,
And it helps that we have pets
Every
that
day.
need. It's important that our pets get exercise. It's probably more important that they get exercise than it is for us because they sit around all day waiting, whereas at least my brain is active and occupied with things. So, but I digress. Today we're going to talk about human exercise. And Lisa, now you did your graduate degree in human performance and health promotion, but you're also a certified personal trainer, and you worked as a personal trainer for a number of years. So what got you into fitness?
Well, I was never a kid that was into sports, never have been, and to this day I don't really know the first thing there is to know about any kind of sport. But what I did enjoy as a child was taking dance classes. I watched, if you remember in the late 70s, early 80s, Lily doing yoga on PBS. She had the long braid. I think she's still around. She's amazing. And that was interesting to me. That was fun. And also taking aerobic classes, step aerobic classes when that came out in the 80s. And then when I got to college, I took a ballroom dance class, which I highly recommend to every college student. Ballroom dancing or aerobic dance, anything like that that's really fun. It really helps to manage your stress. And I think I just started looking at the guys up in the weight room working out, and I just went up there one time and they kind of took me under their wing and I learned some techniques from them.
Wonderful. That's great.
And let's see, I received a lot of my inspiration from the physical therapist who worked with my grandmother when she had a hip replacement. And I said, I want to help people, heal from physical injuries as well. So instead of taking the PT route, I took the exercise physiologist route, and I specialized in cardiac rehab. So for many years I worked in cardiac rehab with a lot of seniors who had heart attacks, bypass surgeries, chest pain, and some that were not so seniors. We had very young people in their 40s and 50s that were also having some heart problems. And then I also assisted some physical therapists and occupational therapists, and I learned so much in every job that I've had that has helped me to help myself and help other people either to recover from ailments or prevent certain injuries, just by knowing what to do and what not to do.
Wonderful.
So.
Well, that's great. Now, you've helped me get more out of my exercise programs over the years. And today, I'd like it if you can take me through some simple exercises that people can do right in their own home.
Sure. Let's go see what we can do.
Okay.
Okay, so here we are ready to show you some exercises that you can do at home without any equipment. First of all, let's focus on strengthening the quadriceps muscles, or the quads. A squat is a very simple exercise you can do. Simply place your feet about shoulder width apart. You're going to bend your knees. You're going to stick your butt back, and we'll do this sideways in just a moment. And then you can put your hands on your hips. You can put them straight down, or you can even hold them forward for a bit more of a challenge. And if you turn around and do it sideways, you'll see that what you want is to angle your butt back. Okay, put your hands forward on this one. There you go. And that's really nice for your quads and your hamstrings. Now let's move on to the lunge. Staying right there, bring your right foot forward. Okay? Pretend you have a line coming down the center of your head, through your spine and out your tailbone. You're just going to drop straight down by bending both knees. It's most important that your front knee, you're sure that it does not go beyond your toes. If it does, then that means you need to take a wider step. So you're going to come up and come back down. Let's see how you're good. Okay, and go back down. So it's just like, yeah. So it's just straight down and back up again, just like that. There you go. Go ahead. All right, excellent. Neck, and then you would do that on both sides. First your right leg forward, then your left leg forward. Calf raises are also something that you can do flat on the floor, or if you have a staircase, just do it on the edge of your lowest step. Go up on your toes and down, and this is great for your gastrocnemius, or your calf muscle, and your soleus. Straight up and down. And your calves usually don't need a lot of work, really mostly quadriceps and hamstrings. But it feels nice to do on the calves too. And when you do it on the step, you can bring your heels down all the way, not all the way, but you can bring them down more, and that will give you a nice stretch as well. All right, let's drop to the floor for some ab work. A couple of mistakes that people make when they're doing ab work is they will hold their breath, so you want to make sure that you're breathing. And the other problem is that they will not bring their navel down to the floor. So there's this arch happening underneath their back. So when you're doing a crunch, you can bend your knees, or you can put your knees up at a 90-degree angle if you have a ball or a chair, or you can just hold them up for a more advanced version. You can bring your feet back down. Place your hands up beneath your head, fingers open. Try not to interlock them because that will tempt you to pull more with your hands as opposed to using your core. And pretend you're looking at a spot up on the ceiling with your eyes, and you're just going to raise your whole body. Elbows stay out. I call them elephant ears. Eyes look straight up. And you're just lifting your chest and your face straight up. Also very important to breathe. You want to exhale on the exertion. Think EE. So as you lift, you exhale, and you make sure that you bring your navel down to the floor the whole time. All right? Let's move on to a series that Kurt loves to do. And this series lasts 5 minutes. We're not going to do the whole 5 minutes, but basically what you do is you start in this push-up position. Now he does it on his knuckles, but you can also do this with open hands. And you're going to start with mountain climbers, if you can demonstrate the mountain climbers. And this you would do for 30 seconds. Okay? Then after 30 seconds of mountain climbers, you would go into a plank position, which is a push-up position that you just hold. And you hold that for 30 seconds. Make sure that your butt and your back and your legs are all nice and level. You're not sticking your butt up in the air. That's the challenge right there. Holding this for 30 seconds, finish that, then you're going to flip over, do bicycles. When you do bicycles for your abdominals, a lot of people will bring their elbows to their knees. Focus on bringing your shoulder toward your knee. There you go. And switch, and switch. There you go. All right? And then you do this for 30 seconds. Excellent. Now, I think we're going to go into some stretches, or we're doing push-ups. Okay, basic push-ups. You can also do basic push-ups. And Kurt likes to do different variations. He was in the military, so he likes different variations of push-ups. So you have on the knuckles, flat-handed. Bring your hands on a triangle shape. Get more of your pecs. You can also do a wider stance, wider push-up. Now these are all with the knees off the ground. Of course, you can do all of these with your knees on the ground for a more beginner level. Okay? Now, as much as it's important to do strengthening exercises, it's just as important to stretch. You see a lot of the people at the gym, especially the guys with their pronated shoulders, and they pump iron on the chest and the biceps and the front delts, and they end up looking like gorillas. And there's no expansion. So you want to make sure that you expand everything just as you contract it. So why don't you stand here, Kurt, and show us a stretch for the quadricep. Remember, we worked this with doing squats. So you just hold your ankle. Now, if you have any trouble with your balance, just hold on to a wall. There you go. If you want to show them sideways as well. And you'll see that you want your knees together. You don't want your leg back here. That's like a different kind of dance. Hold it together, hold it steady. Okay, there's your quad stretch. Then we're doing the low back stretch while standing. So if you face sideways, bend your knees, put your hands on your knees, and like a cat, hunch your back over. This feels so nice in the lower back. And then arch it. There you go. Stretching out your chest. Arch it again. Stretching out your chest. Now if you get on the floor and you can show them the all fours position, you do the same thing. Arch and hunch. Wonderful stretch. Now, that's it for the floor. Now we're going to do some awesome back and pec stretches. All right, and for the pec stretch, you're going to find a door frame, stand close to it, place your arm in front of it, come in a little bit more so that your elbow's right here. Now take your whole body and you're going to gently twist away. Actually move your feet as well. Bring everything with you. So this is an excellent stretch for your pecs. For those of us, as most of us, we're either mobile devices or we're sitting behind a desk or driving and we're tense and we're typing. This is excellent for your pecs. Then come back to center. Raise your arm up at a 45-degree angle. Do the same movement where you turn your shoulders away as well as your feet. And then you're going to come back to center. Bring your arm down, 45-degree angle, shoulders away and feet. Always for your stretches, hold the pose. Don't bounce. Like don't do this. Right, don't do that. Okay. Now we're going to go to a back stretch. My chiropractor showed me this one, which was so nice. So we're going to come against the other part of the door frame. So take your right hand, reach, grab the door frame. Then what you want to do is turn away a little bit with your shoulders. It's going to be a slight movement. And then take your leg out and lean away. So it's not going to look like you're doing very much, but it gets into that, into the rhomboids, and it feels really nice in your low back. And then of course you would do it in reverse on the opposite side. Those are some wonderful stretches that you could do in your house with very little space and little to no equipment. Now I'd like to show you one more way that you can stretch by using the inversion table. The inversion table helps to move not just your blood, but your lymphatic system as well. Your heart is the organ that pumps the blood through your body, but your lymphatic system doesn't have anything to move it through, so you have to either move or use an inversion table or a rebounder or any exercise to get the lymphatic system to move. This is also great for hips and your entire spine. Kurt really enjoys this, and he's going to demonstrate this for us today. Why don't you come on over? The prongs down here that secure your feet, you want them to hold your ankles in place but not be too tight. And the first thing you want to do is allow yourself to lay back just to a 180-degree angle, because that's a position we're used to. Okay? Now, depends how comfortable you are with doing this inversion. I am not as much as he is. Kurt will go all the way back. I will go most of the way back. And once he gets down to the bottom, he hangs his hands over his head and he hangs out there for 30 seconds. But what you can do when you start using an inversion table is just bring yourself a little bit back, you know, maybe like another, you know, like 45-degree angles, 60-degree angles, and then work your way to this. You can work up to doing 30 seconds hanging in this position. So at 30 seconds or whenever you're ready, bring yourself back up to 180. Once you feel like you have your bearings, slowly bring yourself all the way to standing. And be sure to do this slowly because all the blood and all the lymph has rushed to your head, and it's important to give your body the time it needs to reacclimate. It's kind of like laying down and getting up too fast. You might get dizzy and lightheaded. And then you can step out when you're ready. Now, there are many more exercises that you could find online, on YouTube, but these have given you some idea about what you can do in your own home. I also would like to add 2 other points. One of them is when you do exercises, go ahead and do a lunge for us, Kurt, if you would. In order to increase the intensity, you can just do it slower. Move slowly. Another way to increase the intensity, if it's getting too easy for you, is have some hand weights or ankle weights. Regardless of what exercises you choose to do, there are 2 main important components. One is breathing and good posture. With breathing, you want to make sure, ideally, that you're exhaling on the exertion. Think of EE. But if that's hard to coordinate for you, then as long as you're breathing, you're okay. Just don't hold your breath. Great. And the other part is posture. Tall spine, shoulders back down and relaxed, shoulders away from your ears, and never lock your joints. Keep a slight bend in your elbows and knees, whatever exercise you're doing. Good job. All right. So if you have any more questions, again, you can go on YouTube, talk to a trainer. There's certainly a lot of advice that you can get to help you get started on your exercise program. Tomorrow, join us because Kurt will be doing some yoga demonstrations for us that you all can do at home. So thank you for joining Your Health Your Way. See you soon. What are you going to say to close now?
This was all just one big joke. And fade out.